What about this?
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Dales Taylor. I'm a senior advisor for Senator Martha Warner. And I am so happy to be with you this morning, but more importantly, to be with our panelists this morning, who happens to be Rita. Let's give her, and she has plenty of energy. Trust me. Rita is a spiritual business coach, an inspirational speaker, workshop facilitator, award-winning entrepreneur, and published author. We have 50 minutes, and yet I promise you, we probably want to have another 50 minutes when she finishes. None other than Rita Rich.
All right, ladies, I am so glad to have you here. I've been at this conference before. I love it. And I want you to right now begin to get in, in the present. Where you are right now is where you're supposed to be. Amen. And where you are right now is where you will learn and you will hear. So when I ask you about being in the present, it is simply to say, stay here and pay attention. This is anything that you hear, I want you to take away because I want you to be better when you leave. Not that there's anything wrong with you now, but I want you to be better. And that's what this conference is about. A lot of times people come, so listen, all truthfulness, just to get all the free goodies, right? They come in and they get it and, and they're gone. That's not what I'm looking for in here. I want you all to take what I'm saying to you and trust me, understand that there is still so much inside of you, so many gifts that you haven't even begun to use. It doesn't matter your age. And that's why my title is 76 years around the planet. Because I've been around the planet 76 years. And and I ain't never been 76 before. and so when I was 70, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be 70. So my girls and I went on a cruise, my daughters and granddaughters. I don't know, I thought maybe the world would implode. I don't know. So I was on, so then I went to the middle of the ocean, which was dumb. But anyway, we had a great time and the world was still good until I turned into 70. 75 was very cool. We had a huge celebration, it was fun, and I loved it. And then this year was 76. And it's like, you know what this is? This is going to keep going. And I thought, the next big one, the Rita is going to be 80. How do you feel about it? So I had to really get into my feelings to understand how blessed I am. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. How blessed I am because I have so many who didn't get here. Mm-hmm. And so you should never be embarrassed and or ashamed for how old you are, because it is a blessing. We are all put on this planet with a purpose. And I finally figured out what I'm supposed to do when I grow up. And it's only been seriously about the last 10 or 11 years. So that's why I say there's so much still to be done. And so on my birthday's in April, and so when I started getting into my feelings and thinking about this 76, I said, I should write a blog about this, because I should know something. After all this time, there should be something that I know. And I started writing, and I wrote the blog, and then I started sharing it with my clients, and I've literally been using it ever since. I've not changed it since April. And the response is just amazing, and I'm glad that it's amazing, because what I want to tell you, what I want to talk to you about are 10 tips that will get you to where it is you want to be. I'm where I want to be. I am free as a result of practicing what I'm getting ready to tell you. And I say I am free. So let me even go a little bit further with the fact that as a spiritual coach, I show you how to remove the barriers preventing you from creating the life you were born to live. We all have barriers. There's something keeping us from not moving further. And that barrier is living rent-free in your head. It's there. And I have had coaches forever. And my last coach was been now, literally, about 11, 12 years ago. And she said, Rita, you got this done, you're doing this, but there's something stopping you. And I said, girl, no, there isn't. I'm all that in a bag of chips. Nope, she said, there is something stopping you. And so I started to think about that. And here's the thing. Whatever you put out in the universe is coming back. And the more I thought about this barrier, I'm like, what could it be? Interestingly enough, because opportunities will come when you need them. There is a retreat center in Richmond, Virginia, and it's called Richmond Hill. And they have, you're familiar with it, it's wonderful. And they had a workshop. Now mind you, I had been involved with Richmond Hill 15 years. This was the first time they had this workshop, and they haven't had it since. But this workshop was called Removing Barriers. So what did I do? I went to school because my coach had said there are barriers. So anyway, we go in on that Friday. We're supposed to be there from 4 o'clock on Friday till 4 o'clock on Sunday. So we have dinner, we have prayer, and I'm just in the mood to hear what's going on. And that's important to get in the mood. You gotta be present, as I'm asking you to do right now. So they asked us to sit down and write to this person, place, or thing that just made you angry, that just pissed you off, that just bugged you. It was kind of back there and you didn't quite know why, but it did. And I started writing. And I wrote, and I fussed, and I cussed, and I just kept writing, and I cried. And after a while, I felt better. I just felt better because of that writing. I don't know how many pages I wrote, but I just felt better. Come on. Come on. No, just get
Sorry, Rita, I apologize.
Don't talk, just keep going. There you go, come on in. So I wrote, and I wrote to the point that, like I said, I started to cry. And then I began writing, I'm so grateful. So I need you to know that when you journal, and we're gonna talk a little bit more, but when you write, you start to pull things out. And I know that my barrier was something that happened to me when I was 12 years old. 12 years old, and I had been carrying it forever. Yes. It was an experience that I had. I'm an Army brat. We lived more in Europe than we did in the States, but we're from Mississippi. And I remember being refused something because of my skin. I couldn't understand it. I asked my mom about it, but it stayed in my head and it made me feel that I was not worthy. To this one white man who said something to me all those years. And once I wrote about it and I get it all out, it was amazing. And so at breakfast the next morning at 8 o'clock, I told the founder, the creators of the workshop, I said, I'm out. I'm out. And I'm telling you, I have been free ever since. I can't tell you how my business has grown and my attitude has grown and my sense of self has grown because I got rid of the barriers. So please understand. I have 2 coaches. I have 2 business coaches. I have a personal coach and I have a fitness coach. Did I mention that? You need coaches. Now, somebody asked me the other day, well, how do you get up to be at fitness coach at 6:15 in the morning? I said, you got to do it. She's so cute. So, it ain't hard. I am looking like crazy, but it's all good and it helps. So, all right, so I'm going to move on because we're going to have time for questions, but I'm going to move on. 76 years around the planet, what I know for sure. Marianne Williamson, you know Marianne.
Oh, yes.
Probably all read this,
Yes.
but I'm going to read it to you again, okay? Our deepest fear, this is, take out our and put mine. My deepest fear is not that I am inadequate. My deepest fear is that I am powerful beyond measure. How can you be scared of yourself? How can you be scared? You are powerful beyond measure. It is my light, not my darkness, that most frightens me. You know you've got it. You already know it. And you're trying to hide it under a tree. And listen, the thing about it, that light is your spirit. You came here, spirit. You will leave here, spirit. How can you then suppress who you are by trying to be what somebody else wants you to look like? And admittedly, that barrier had me trying to do that, right? Be something that I was not. So I asked myself, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? And the question should be, and actually, who are you not to be? That's it. Why wouldn't you be fabulous? Why would you come here for any other reason than to be fabulous and gorgeous and all that? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening. You don't get points by shrinking. You don't get points by hiding. You do not get points for that. So you don't want, and when you shrink it, it's so other people won't feel insecure around you. Forget that.
Yes.
Who's got time to, who's got time to worry about how she feels about me? First of all, how she feels about me is none of my business.
That's right. That's right.
So all I gotta do is be me. And I understand everybody ain't gonna like me. That's what my children, that's my daughter in that back corner. That's Camille. And Camille said, Mom, everybody don't like me. I don't see why, Camille. I said, that's not true, Mom. Trust me. Trust me, Mom. Everybody don't like me. So regardless, I still gotta be me. And here's the word I want you to remember. Yeah. I am unapologetic. That's what I feel at 74. It almost makes me cry to say that. Because that's powerful for me to say, this is it. This is all I got. You take it or you leave it. And if you leave it, it's okay. Maybe it's not your time. Maybe it's too early. Maybe it's too late. Maybe you're not, come on. You're welcome. Come on. Unapologetically me. That's the word I want you to remember, okay? That's the word, and I am worth it. So, I want you to look at somebody next to you or somebody behind you, and I want you to repeat after me. Look them in the face right now. Find somebody. Turn around. Everybody should be looking. Everybody. What are we supposed to say? Stop laughing at each other. All right, so here we go. I want you to say after me, I see. I see you. I want you to say it again. I see you. One more time, control their gaze. I see you. I see you. And one more thing. And you are worthy.
And you are worthy.
Amen. One more time.
And you are worthy.
Thank you.
All right. So the next time you're with a friend or somebody, begin to say that to them. Because we say, how are you? And before they can even say, I'm fine, you're gone. But here's the thing. They may not be fine. They probably are not fine. We as women are struggling with more than we ever had. The caregivers, I remember the time when my mom was living and she had Alzheimer's, and I had Pampers and Depends in my trunk. Because I had my granddaughter, and I had my mother, And so you're all struggling with something, and it's okay. Stop saying you're fine. Because I am, at the end, is what you send out into the universe. So how can you get help if you're not saying, and it's not about being a victim. It's about saying, I need some help. And then you have to go after it. Yep. You can't leave here today saying, oh, Rita was good and she was right and she said this, and then you don't do anything about it. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you, I got a table over there. You have to act on your feelings. Because otherwise I will see you next year this time, some other place, and you'll still be in the same space. And during COVID, and then I'm gonna get started, during COVID is when I hired 2 coaches. And the reason I said it is I don't want to come out of COVID being the same. I think we're here for a reason. I think we're supposed to regroup. I think we're supposed to reimagine. I think we're supposed to be different. And I hired them and I paid money. So that's another thing. I paid for my investment because I'm worth it.
There you go.
I am worth it. And that's where I am today because of that. Okay? So, number one of 10 tips. God and I are co-creators of my life.
Amen.
He tells me what to do, and I do it.
Yeah.
Now, whether you say God, whether you say universe, whatever you say, you're not alone. That's the bottom line. You are not alone. And this is not religious, it's back to spirit. Because when you and God are co-creating, God is speaking directly to your spirit. And remember, that's who you are. It has nothing to do with what people out here are saying. And so when you feel uncomfortable, you have to go inside. And that's what all of my coaching is about, going inside. Not living out here, but going inside and listening. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, the solution is in the silence.
All right.
When I was at Richmond Hill, and I was at a tough time, it was difficult. I had lost both of my parents. I had broken up from a long marriage. I'm sorry. It wasn't a long marriage. This was long story short. And I'm looking at Cam going, do I want her to hear? I don't know. I'm just gonna be cool about this, but it was a difficult time. And I was lost, and I had turned my business over to my older daughter because I thought that I was going to be this life coach. I was not connecting with life coaching. I don't know why. And then I found out about this 2-year program at Richmond Hill. It was called RUA, which is correct. And we had to be, and it was called the School of Spiritual Direction. Now, I didn't know anything about spiritual direction. I'm Baptist, we don't have that, but anyway, it sounds good. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And for 2 years, once a month, we had to spend the night. Matter of fact, the whole weekend there. But they required us to be silent for 24 hours, 6 times. 24 hours. So I did 3 the first year, I did 3 the second year. It got to the point where when I was there for the weekend, for that 24 hours, I would literally bring in flip charts. There was so much that I was hearing. Because when you're not talking, you hear yourself. And we had a little sign that said silent, so nobody spoke to me. I could get in a room and I could just write. It was amazing what came out of those 24 hours. And at the end, the 2 months before I graduated was my last silence. And we were in the chapel and they played Thank You, Lord. And thank you, Lord. It's beautiful. And then the second verse has been so good. And I lost it. I just lost it. I cried and it was ugly. And and I'm trying to be like this, and folks, my classmates are, Rita, are you all right? I didn't know what was going on. I just cried. I know now that I surrendered. I let it go. That's what all that was about. I had connected with my spirit, and I let go. And in the Black church, what do we say? Let go, let God. And as soon as we leave, we let go and we pick up. We don't let God, and we keep it moving. We just keep it moving. And so that was purging. And so when my clients cry, I say hallelujah, because you're letting go. You're not trying to be everything to everybody. And you have to allow your spirit to come alive. That makes sense? Yes. So there's 3 things I want you to remember. 3 things. The foundation of who I am and where I am today is 3 steps that I take in the morning. And the first is to wake up, and before I grab my phone, and before I grab the TV to find, the remote, I journal. And it's my Dear God letter. So I say, good morning, Father God, Holy Spirit, Lord Jesus. This is the day that you have made, and I will rejoice in it. And so I'm connecting, right? I'm connecting before I hear whether or not the government's going to shut down. That's going to disconnect me. I got to connect first. okay? And so I journal, and I say all the time, you know, when my kids read my journals, when I've left this earth, they're gonna go, Mom, you really thought this? Yeah, because I share everything in there, because it's just me and my creator. It's not for anybody else, you know? I'm me. And so I write. And then the second thing I do is read something motivating, some daily devotional of some kind that will motivate you. And then you go into the silence. You must sit up. And the reason that you journal first is because you got to download what happened yesterday. You got to download about what you're worried about tomorrow. You have to get in the present of today, because today is all you have. And there's such good stuff going to happen today if you're ready to receive it. Make sense?
Yeah.
So you go into the silence, you put 20 minutes, put your alarm for 20 minutes. Hopefully you have something other than your phone, because if you get your phone, then you go, ah, look what happened, and I give it. So even if it's just a little timer for 20 minutes, you have to be silent. I wear an eye mask as well. You have to be silent. You have to be silent. And so the minute you tell me it's hard or I can't do it, you've already decided you can't, because remember what you sent out? So you have to believe, you have to relax, you have to trust that you will connect. And it's something that you have to do every day. Because you are given 24 hours, 7 days a week. Are you telling me you can't get 30 minutes back? Is that what you're saying? You don't have 30 minutes to journal, to read something motivational, and to be silent before your day starts from your creator who already knows the plans that he has for you. You don't have to try to figure them out. All you have to do is be. We're not human doings, we are human beings. Yeah. Think about it. Think about it. It has transformed my life. The solution is in the silence. When I can't figure it out, when it's not working, I get quiet. I get quiet because I'm connected. There are times when I'm talking with clients, and this happened early on when I first, so by the way, when I left Rural, when I graduated from that 2 years, I had gone in as a life coach, I came out as a spiritual coach. People say, oh, Rita, people gonna think it's religious. I said, the ones who know, the people who are seeking, they know. They know. The others, it's okay. And that's why when I realized it's not about life coaching that I wanted, it's about spiritual coaching, because that's who we are. So the solution is in the silence. You have to practice it every day. And you get to the point that if you miss a day or two, you feel bad, you feel crazy, you feel disconnected. So when you are calm and when you are settled, it is because you are connected. And when you feel discombobulated, that means you are discombobulated and you have to reconnect. Make sense?
Yes.
The law of attraction, I already started talking about it. It is alive and well. When you say I am, be very careful what you say on the other end. Be very careful how you end that sentence, because it goes out in the universe, and the universe says, oh, you know, I'm dumb, I'm crazy, I'm ugly. Oh, okay, more dumb, more crazy, more ugly. I am powerful, I am strong, I am beautiful. Okay, universe, more. The law of attraction is alive and well, and you have to watch how you speak about yourself. There's an exercise that I was at one time, and they had us to say to another person, all of these, we wrote them down, all of these ugly things. And it turned out it's oftentimes things we say to ourselves. And as we were doing it, people started laughing because it's ridiculous when you hear it come out of your mouth, when you're telling somebody else that. But here you are telling you that. Stop it. Stop it right now. You are worthy. And if you have to write that on your mirror and on your toilet seat, I don't know. You need to be reminded. You need to be reminded of who you are and whose you are. And you are worth it. And you're still here. That's what I've heard is probably the hardest part about getting older, are the friends that you lose. and the people that you love, that have been friends, you know, it's hard. But I'm still here for a reason, as are you. So the law of attraction, be very careful with it. Use it for your benefit. There are wonderful, wonderful opportunities on YouTube for you to hear motivation. Wonderful opportunities. Listen to them. Stop judging before you hear them. It may be a sermon, it may be a motivation, it may be, there's these two people who say prayers for 8 hours, you know? And I finally figured out that they probably run for about 10 minutes and then they started over again, because I heard it, because I was awake and they go, oh, you just said that about an hour. But still, it's what I need, it's just what I need, that's what I need going. Don't have your TV on. You know, find something on YouTube that is motivating for you. All right, this what comes in. Garbage in, garbage out, right? Okay. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. There is something that you can do. It may not be what you expected, it may not be even comfortable, but you always have a choice. And divorce is hard. I get it. It is hard. But you always have a choice. And don't ever think that staying there for your kids is going to make it better for you. Because it's not. It's not. It's not. You always have a choice. In your job, in your relationship, you always have a choice. Act on it. This is my mantra that I wrote, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. What you do today forms your tomorrow. But it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that I've got to do this today because that's going to make tomorrow better. So I live by that. There's something that I'm doing today that's going to be better. Even if I had planned to do this, and then Cam, who's got this amazing backyard with a fire pit, she'll say, Mom, do you want to come over for a glass of wine? Oh! You know, I mean, I had planned to go and do some work. Let it go. Let it go. When my kids invite me over, I'm very grateful because they want to see me. Yeah. And sometimes they will even say, Mom, we haven't seen you more. I stop. I listen. You know, what am I doing? I'm working for them and yet I can't be with them? That's the balance. When you feel this is what I want to do. That's when you know you're connected, because it's like, oh, that's such a much better idea than me coming out the computer. You know? All right. Enough said.
Right.
Everybody in this room is settling for something. I don't care what it is. It can be a position in your job. It can be your business. It can be your partner. It can be a friend that you holding on to when you know she's toxic. You know it. And you like, Lord, why am I still here?
Right.
You stop. Stop. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Enough what you said. Enough said. Moving on. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Think about that. When something happens and it doesn't go the way we think it should go, it's like, I can't believe this happened. The devil is so busy. Blah, 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 blah. And where we should be is, why did this happen? What should I be paying attention to? I mean, it takes longer, but you will find out. And I really started that when 20 plus years ago, I was told that I had, there was a malignancy in my right breast. And I remember going home, and he said, my doctor said, oh, he was cute too, by the way. But but I remember saying, oh, I want it out Monday. This was Friday morning. I want it out Monday. And we had that surgery Monday. But it's about thinking, when I went home Friday night, I sat in the dark. And I said, what's going on, God? I don't know. And I was not, this was 20 plus years ago, so I wasn't anywhere near where I am now spiritually. But I knew that I needed to figure out, why did this happen? So for me, I knew, now this isn't everybody, and I know cancer is horrendously horrible. But I knew for me, I had been a smoker. I drank tabs, 3 and 4 a day, right? I never went over to the to the produce section because it was too cold over there. I mean, and I ate meat. I'm so grateful my kids are still living because, you know, they had a crazy mama who didn't really know how to cook, you know? So when I look back on the way I have not handled my body, and the body is wonderfully made, wonderfully made, and I was destroying it. And so I knew moving forward, I never felt like this was the end. And I knew moving forward, I would be better. I would do better. And I have done better. I'm a pescatarian. I literally just stopped running probably in the last year. And I will do, 15 or 20 minutes of running, but I used to, oh man, I could do an 8-minute mile, literally, in my 60s. As a matter of fact, what had happened was, when I left my business, I then lost my insurance. And I think I started running thinking that maybe I outran the disease, and I realized how much I love running. I lift weights twice a week with my trainer, I do fresh vegetables and fresh fruit, and I'm not a foodie per se, because I pretty much eat the same things, salmon and tuna and those kinds of things. My point is, my pastor once said, what you put in your body, what you put in your mouth sends a message to some part of your body.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. I take vitamins, but I don't have any other medications. And I'm grateful for that.
Amen. Yes.
I'm grateful. Now I have done acupuncture, and I do colonics and, those kinds of things. So think about where you are and who you are. And what else could you be doing? Because we depend, no disrespect to doctors, but I gotta go to the doctor. I gotta get something for this. Why? Let's try to figure out what's happening to you. Maybe it's happening for you. Make sense?
Yep.
All right, number 8. Your vision should pull you forward. Everybody in here, whether you have a small business or just whether you're the CEO of your own life, which you are, you have to have a vision. You have to know where you're going. And that vision will pull you forward. So when people say to me, Rita, why haven't you retired? My vision is pulling me way beyond retirement. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And you want to be around people who can connect with that vision and who can help you to pull forward, right? You can't stick with those that have a vision that's over here. And believe me, those who don't have a vision will try to pull you back. And you have to let go. You have to let go. It's all about new. It's all about different. It's all about evolving. It's all about reimagining. It's all about emerging. Those are all the exciting things we're supposed to be experiencing every day. Every day. And if you're not, you need to come talk to me quick. All right, number 9. Oh, let me tell you about this. This makes you old.
Yep.
This is what will make you old and pull you down quicker than anything. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Your worrying is not gonna make it okay. It's gonna be okay. And that's what the silence is about. It's gonna be okay. That's when you turn it over and you let go. You can only do what only you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest you have to trust it will be okay.
Yep.
This is what will make you old. It brings nothing to your life. Nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit. Not separately, but every day. Every day. Nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit every day. Do something for you. So it doesn't, you don't have to go to the gym, but you should walk 10 minutes. One way, and then walk 10 minutes another way. That's 20 minutes. And stop saying I can't, or I hurt, or oh, Rita, I used to wear heels, but I can't anymore. Come on now. Come on now. Find you some shoes that work for you, and then you can be with them, in them, And then if not, they got the cutest. I got a pair of Skechers the other day that I love. The Skechers has done a whole new thing, you know? So find you some cute shoes. Get you some cute little something. Because when we dress, we feel good. Don't get up and say, well, I'm just going over here. Because you may meet somebody just over there. If you ain't ready, you're gonna miss out. Oh my God, I can't believe I don't ever look like this. Yeah, you do. Oh my goodness. This is not how I really look. No. And buy you some hair if you need to. Buy you some hair. Pay for some eyebrows. Right. Get your lashes done. There's a lot of not real up here, but it's still me. Okay? So stop thinking you can't do it. That word can't drives me nuts. Okay. All right. Got to the 10. 5 challenges on how you can claim you. Take ownership of your path. And I want you to, you can take a picture of this, but I want you to actually challenge yourself to do one, to choose one. Take ownership of your path. Decide, I'm going to do it my way. The second one, embrace change. Too many of us are like, no, I don't want to do that. Right. Cam taught me something this morning. I mean, it's amazing. And I said to her, there is so much I don't know. There is so much I don't know. And she said, Ma, it's all right. I said, I know, because I'm going to learn what I need to learn, and the rest you can help me with. You just need to know about it. You don't need to do it. Okay? Number 3, do something that scares you. Yeah. Me, that's bridges. But do something that scares you. Something that scares you. Take the first step for the business. It can be a side gig for a while. And it can grow. And you don't wait until you retire to get started on it. We start now. Right. Whatever you want to do, you've got to plan 6 months out. 6 months out. So we start now in order to be able to get there. We start now. This is one of the first things I learned from one of my coaches. We're a year out with what I do. Because we have to tell our social media people, and we have to tell our graphics people, and then we have to tell y'all, and y'all can't wait till the last minute to hear something. I'm going to the Bahamas in January. It is a retreat. You can go on my website, ritaricks.com. I'm looking for 12 people who want to go to the Bahamas, okay, for 5 days, and we're going to reinvent ourselves. It's as simple as that. Make a plan. You always need a plan, and that's what we're going to do when we're in the Bahamas. Make a plan, and then the last one, I threw it in there because we don't ask. Yeah. We don't ask. We don't ask how to do this. I ask anybody about anything because I don't need my brain. I know I don't know how to do it. Why should I try? Excuse me, can you help me with this? Most people will say yes. If they say no, look at somebody else. But don't spend 30, 40, 50 minutes, 60 minutes trying to fix something that you don't know what you're doing. Do only what only you can do. And then finally, this QR code right here. I want you to take a picture of it, and I want you to send me your feedback on this. Question 1 simply says, what are you going to take away from me? Question 2 says, what topic would you like me to speak on? Because when you invite me to speak for your group, I'm going to speak on that topic. And then this third question simply says, is there anything else you want to say? So it's very easy, but here's the cool part. When you complete that, you will receive an email, and the email will invite you to the Seekers Circle, SEEKERSCIRCLE. I am building this community of seekers, those who want to know more, those who want to go deeper, those who want to feel more alive tomorrow than you do today. It's called the Seekers Circle. And we will be communicating on a separate platform so we can talk to each other motivationally, and then I will literally be talking with you twice a month, live. Twice a month. so that we can cover some of these topics, so that I can continue to encourage you, so that I can hold you accountable, so that you can be the person that you were born to be. If you choose not to give me the feedback, I understand, but go to my website, ritaricks.com, and be sure and go to services, click on twice so you can find the seeker circle. Make sense? I want to stay in touch with the seekers. I want to grow this group of seekers, because that's who we are. All right? Now we have 6 minutes for questions.
7 minutes.
7 minutes! We got 7 minutes for questions. Well, who's got a question? You better ask. Yes.
Can you explain the tattoo on your wrist up there?
On mine.
It's a bracelet.
Oh, that's my bracelet.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah. Listen, I do have a tattoo right here. And I have one right here, because it's 3. It's both of my granddaughters and me. Yeah, yeah. Their mamas didn't, whatever. The mamas wasn't an option. Yes, dear.
What do you have to say about women who do too much syndrome?
Stop. Because the syndrome is just a habit. It's just, and that's what I'm saying. We have to change our thinking. We have to stop using those labels out here. We really do. It is like, I'm doing too much. I'm gonna stop. Because we think nobody else can do it as well as we can. And then people just continue to allow us to do it better than they can. Look at your husband. Oh, honey, let me do the dishes. You can't do it. Okay, I'm good. Stop it. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
How do you stop being guilty?
Oh, girl, please. Guilty is a word that somebody made up. So what does guilty mean? Guilty means I am upset, I am a victim because I'm trying to do this. Forget the word. Look up the word guilty. Let me tell you what this is what we're going to do in the retreat too. You write the word down, guilty. Take it to your sink, light a match to it. Seriously, and watch it burn. We do that. I do a retreat, the Burn Vision Retreat. You burn it because it is a word that makes no sense. It's harmful. It's like worry. It's like, why would you feel guilty when you're doing all you can do? Why would you feel guilty if nobody else is helping you to do what you've asked them to do?
Right.
Think about it. Burn that word. And when it comes back, burn it again. Don't burn your house down, just do it. Yes, ma'am.
So when I try to journal, it's like a block. I don't know what can
Here's the thing. Good morning, Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit. This is the day that you have made, and I will rejoice in it. I am so grateful. Start there. I am so grateful. And by the way, this stupid woman yesterday, that's how you write. I'm so grateful. But there was a really stupid woman I had to talk to yesterday. It'll come. And don't rush it. It's really about being still and just thinking about things that are coming. They will come. But you don't have to force anything. Just be still. Okay? We do a silence. Let me just say that. We do a silence every second Tuesday. Literally a silence. My colleague does it. We do it virtually. So when you go on my website and you see the services, you will see all that we offer. It is unbelievable how we're able to do that virtually. But we talk in the morning, first thing, for about an hour, and everybody's getting together because we've now got a little group, a village. And then you go away for 4 hours and you're quiet. Now, we've given you scripture. We tell you can be quiet. You can walk, but don't drive. Don't do anything. Don't say, well, I'm quiet so I can wash the dishes. This is about being silent. And the more you're silent, things will start to come. You can write them down. Okay? So, and everything takes practice. So give yourself some grace. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't say, I won't be quiet. It's not going to happen. Download first, then the positive, then the silence. And I understand that we're all busy. What I'm trying to move you all is from busy to productive. It's a huge difference. And once you understand that, you'll understand that part of your productivity is getting yourself centered for the day before it ever comes. Makes sense? Did I see another hand? Yes, ma'am.
The question I have, it might be a bit of tangent, but, have you been seeing a lot of, victims of domestic violence?
Always,
Okay,
always,
okay.
always.
You know, and it was amazing for COVID. I love being at home with my kids, you know, but there were people who were in situations where they're with their abuser every single 24 hours a day, you know? And it's a lot still happening because the world is discombobulated right now. And I read somewhere that the planet has a fever and we don't have a medication. The world it has a fever. Look at it. And we aren't offering any kind of medication. So I am here for one person who is a seeker, who knows that they have people they can minister to. And that doesn't mean preach, it just means share. And that's what I'm doing. That's what we can all do with the children, with the little ones as well as the big ones. You know, with our girlfriend, don't keep asking, are you okay? I thought something was wrong. And she says, okay, so you move on. And then the next thing you know, she's gone and you on not 60 minutes. What is it? Dateline. You know, I really thought there was something going on, but I wasn't about to ask. Now Rita Ricks is telling you to ask. Ask. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
What, if anything, would you do differently in your 30s, knowing what you know now? Asking for a friend.
Somebody said that the other day. I can't be silent, but I'm asking for a friend. Well, I said, tell your friend. That's such a good question because I didn't really come into myself until I was in my 30s and I got my divorce. I was really trying to be a good wife. I was really trying to be the wife that my mom was to my dad, not realizing that they started dating in the 8th grade. And so they were a lot further along than I was, you know. And so my 30s were an awakening of, wait a minute, you gotta do something different, you know, and going out and finding a place for me and my kids. And he and I had just built a house. So I went from a laundry room to a little top bottom washing machine. And I remember one day I was trying to get a load of clothes in because I was a teacher then, you know, and I sent the kids on the bus. And I remember, cutting my finger because I was going too fast. I sat on the floor and cried. And this is what I said. I never should have left. And I went, oh, I'll be there. And so that's when I really started knowing me. I didn't know how strong I was. I'd gone from my parents to my husband. So I didn't know what I didn't know. And paying bills, he took care of everything. And so I had to learn that, you know. But it's all about finding out who you are. And so that was 30 years ago, you know. And I would say 40. Smart ass daughter. The apple just don't fall. I think, like I said, 20s are, you know, if you're trying to figure it out, I got married however, I forgot, in 2021, and had these 2 girls, and then things just started to fall apart. And it was, do I stay or do I leave? And nobody in my family got divorced. It was crazy. But I knew that I could not, for their sake, I could not keep following what I thought was his way of doing it, you know. And he wasn't a bad guy, he just wasn't my guy.
Right.
He just wasn't my guy. He's been happily married now almost 40 years, everything's good, you know. It's on her. Ken tells her all the time, girl, just stay healthy in there. Hang in there, stay healthy. Don't let nothing happen to you. Stay healthy. So we're good, you know. But that's another reason for being coached, so that you can have a vision. Seriously, I didn't have a vision. I did not have a vision. That's the answer to you. And so I was just kind of going back and forth. Now, I was raising kids, I get that, you know. But I wish I had started this reality piece sooner. I had a lot of fun, but I wish I'd had that vision. I wish I had connected sooner. That would be my answer. Okay?